Okay, so we're up to now chapter 6 of the Michi's Endgame Techniques, and we're getting to the end of what I would say the easiest stuff, and we're going to turn into the more well, this chapter I think is still mostly easy stuff, but we'll get into the more advanced stuff in the subsequent weeks. So today's session is on bearing in with no contact. I think that's what he called it. And what Michi means by that is, well, I guess there are certain no contact is a specific case, but bearing in. And so in some cases with no contact, some cases with contact. So here's and he starts out with the idea of, here's the ideal position when you're bearing in, and that's where you have checkers on the 6, 5, and 4, the spares, and you've closed out your opponent. That's kind of the goal. He provides some other examples of things to do, but if you keep this in mind, that pretty much gets you most of what you need to know. That's your target. Go to another example. So, in this example, well, let me get to the main idea of this, of bearing in, and this was the checker on the bar, is preparing for double sixes. And Michi calls it more of Michi's cosmology. Cosmology. He calls it the number of the beast. And there's a little cartoon of Nano and the devil's horns and things like that. So, so this is the main thing when you're bearing. This is the main thing you do is you ask, how do double sixes play after you've made your move? And so, if they don't play well, you need to change. Because about the only thing in this case, you got black is on the bar, nothing you can do. You're bearing in against no contact, and all you need to do is bear off. And we've seen from the bear off with a checker on the bar, safety is normally the main thing, and you can generally do it pretty well. So bearing in, the only thing you really have to worry about is double sixes. So what do we look at here? What's the right play? 6-1 to play, and
I think there are two ways to do it. One is 17-11, 6-5.
So 17-11. Okay, yeah. So what you should do is, okay, so the logical 6 is back here from the 17, and a 1 to play. And so from here, we then ask, okay, if we get double sixes, what do we do? Or, do we have a problem? And so when you have 2 checkers and you're out of board and 3 on the 6, double sixes will boom. The 11 goes to 5, the 9 goes to 3, and then you got 2 more to play, which come off the 6 point. So that's the problem you have. So yeah, 6 to 5 would fix that problem. So double sixes, after you make this move, double sixes play okay. So now if you did this, 6, something like that, again, 2 in, 2 off the 6 point, and you leave a blot. So the only way that you're going to lose this game is by leaving a blot and having your opponent hit it. So all really you have to think about is the double sixes. So let's go back to the original. And that's it. The funny thing is that a lot of what Michi talks about in this section, if you look at these, like for instance, this is not a very, this defies what the rule is, 17 to 10, but it's not a huge error. And the reason it's not a huge error is that in order for you to lose this match, you've got to roll double sixes, and then your opponent has to roll a six. So that's pretty unlikely that's going to happen. So it's not a big error, but it's such a simple thing to track the double sixes that it's foolish not to. And it's really the only thing you really have to worry about from this position. Okay. Go to the next one. So here's one. And what do you think we should do here?
It looks like 7-6 and 4-1.
Yeah, well, the rule is, double sixes. What after you move, what do you play? So probably the first thing you would do is move 7-6 and 7-4. But look how double sixes play. You leave a shot, or even double fives in this case, but normally we only think about double sixes. So, yeah. The right play is 7-6, 4-1. Second best being 7-3 or 7-6, 7-4. Again, not big errors because it's for this to lose for you, you've got to roll double sixes and then your opponent has to hit. So that's pretty remote, but for the extra 5 seconds it takes to think about it, you might as well think about it. All right, let's go to the next one.
It's a bigger error. It's a bigger error because you're also protecting against double five, aren't you?
Yes, here
I think as Jacob said.
with this play.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why it's bigger than in the previous example that we looked at.
That was the point I was going to make, that I think the rule is if double sixes play, then double fives will also play. But in this case, if you do this 7-6, 7-4, not only did sixes not work, fives don't work.
Yeah, and typically that's the case. And usually I don't bother looking at double fives, but if you're in the finals of the tournament and all you had to do is take this position home, I would take an extra few seconds to look at double fives too, just because I would hate to have lost a tournament because I didn't, and it's so easy to do. Okay, next one. Now, okay, so what do we think of this one?
I would guess it's, can you hear me, Gary?
Yes.
I would guess it's 13-6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 13-7 and then 5-4.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good way to finish. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So 13. Now, this is, he calls this thing the advanced level. So yeah, we look at this and double sixes play fine. Well, they play. They don't leave a shot. But look at what happens if you roll double sixes next time.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. So, the advanced, the so-called advanced level of this is to say, okay, do double sixes hit, or do double sixes leave a shot? Which if they do, then you'd want to do something else if you can. And then the advanced level is, well, okay, double sixes play don't leave a shot. Are we left with something that's kind of nasty like this, which is going to leave a shot unless you roll some number less than 5. Combination of numbers less than 5. So
And
you
not
say,
including a 5,
well, what I mean is
less than 5.
4, 1, 3, 2, double ones, something like that. Whereas any number, I guess, okay, so like 4, 3 isn't bad. You could take, but you clear the 4 point, over the 4, 4, 3. But,
Any
5,
or
4,
6 seems bad.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Jacob.
Any 5 or 6 seems bad.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you clearly. Try again.
Any number that has a 6 or a 5
Yes.
seems to be trouble.
Yeah. Any number with a 6 or 5, because you've got to clear the last 2 points. And then you're odd here. So double 5s, double 6s, and even double 4s are bad. It's just a lot of numbers that leave a shot from here. So again, for the extra few seconds, going back to the original, for the extra few seconds that it takes to think about that, adjust the play. Okay, and so the right play was.
So double 6s plays, but then double 5 still leaves a shot.
After this play?
If you, no, the one that one, say, so take off the double 6s and then take off the play the double 6s, and then double 5 still leaves a shot.
Yeah. And so do double 6s, but 6, 5 doesn't, and double 4s leave a shot.
Okay, all right, I get you.
But now it's not all 6s and 5s. Here, as Jacob pointed out, all 6s and 5s leave a shot next time. Here, 6, 5 doesn't, 6, 4 doesn't, 6, none of the, just only double 6s and only double 5s, well, and double 4s.
You're right,
So
okay,
that's-
I get you.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. That didn't work. Okay, so we're now looking at contact against the ace point. Not contact, but bearing it against the ace point with the checker on the bar. And so Michi's main comment here is to don't leave a gap.
Couldn't hear that, Gary. Don't leave what?
His I guess proverb on this topic is don't leave a gap. So what does that mean? So what would be the play here? Well, let's look. You could come, first of all, this is probably your 5.
Yeah, to avoid being hit with double 1.
Yeah. And so what's your 2?
It looks like 6 to 5. I mean, 6 to 4.
6 to 4. Yeah. Well, yeah, that would not leave the gap. Now, we also have to worry about double 6s here too, even though it's an ace point game. So, if you bring down here, which is the logical thing to do, and you play the 2, you could play the 2 here, but you're leaving the block with the double 6s. You could bring the 2 here, but you leave a block with the double 6s. Or you can do this, which the double 6s play, and again, you're not leaving the gap. Okay, so let's look at this again. See what XG says. So this is the right play. Coming in, coming down, you don't leave the gap. And obviously, I think someone said it, but you don't want to leave a checker on the bar point if you can avoid it, because then you give up the 1-6 shot from the bar. But here the idea is it's double sixes and don't leave the gap. So this play, which is kind of an obvious play, and this play is an obvious play. They have their issues with the double sixes and the gap. Okay. Yeah. No, the other issue, and that's really about all that Michi has to say about bearing in against the ace-point game. But typically, when you've got your opponent in the ace-point game, you've made the bar point, it's boxed in. So the issue here, when you're bearing in, is this is also pretty easy. You've got the 6' in front, but you've got to clear your issue is clearing the bar point. And there the issue is, okay, when do you do that? Because that's what's going to get you in trouble. Now here, double sixes, you're not worried about double sixes because once you get all your checkers in, your sixes are blocked from the bar point. So you're not worried about double sixes there. But the question is, when do you clear that bar point? So what do you think? What do you think is the time to clear the bar point here?
Well, clearing the bar point certainly takes away the double six problem.
Well, there is no double six problem now.
Right, but if you clear the bar point now, then if you get double sixes the next time.
Yeah. Yes, you don't have. Yeah, you don't have the double six problem next time either.
It seems to be a problem with double 5, I think.
Clearing the bar. So let's look at clearing the bar here. So 5s are going to come in 11 to 6, 8 to 3. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to leave a shot with double 5s next time if you clear the bar here.
Okay.
But is that is that your biggest problem now? Let's take a look at it. Yeah, but the answer is no. Again, the double sixes you've got, or double 5s that matter. There's one roll out of 36 that does that, and then your opponent has to hit it from the bar. And so if that's all you have to worry about, which is true when your opponent doesn't, is closed out, that's all you have to worry about. So that's what you worry about. Here, your bigger problem is, clearing the bar point. So, for instance, if you did this play, okay, any 6. Well, any 6. Well, the problem you have with the bar point is that if you roll a 5, you've got to move it in. It's your only choice. So, for instance, here, you roll a 5. 6-5 is the problem. If you roll a 6-5, that 5's got to go there. Okay, that presents you with a problem. You've left the blot. Okay. I don't want to spend too much time on that, but well, one more, I guess. So what's the?
I mean, the general rule I've seen is always break the bar.
Yeah.
That's like a general idea.
Yeah. I was just checking what. Yeah. So, I mean, here in this case, oh, he clicked the wrong one. It is the best play. Here's another situation though, where
Very close.
it doesn't really matter that much. But again, clear the bar first. So I would just, get in the habit, these aren't big errors if you do it wrong. But there's the only thing you really have to worry about at this point is, clear the bar point, clear it when you can. And you'll be fine. Let's see.
I wonder why they're so close.
Yeah, well, from this position,
Then you've got you.
there's still not that much that can go wrong. I mean, 6-5, is your problem here.
6-4.
Yeah, so that's a good point. 6-4 in this case, because the 4,
6-3.
yeah,
That looks pretty horrendous.
yeah. So let's look at this.
Oh,
Oh, did I do that? 4. I did this wrong. This is 5. This is 4. Right? Yeah. So
that looks
yeah, I
so
mean,
much better.
this is better. The only bad roll you have here, I think, is 6-1,
But it's not very bad.
but it's not terrible.
So I'm really surprised that they're so close, Gary.
Yeah, I find that, yeah, I agree. Given all the bad rolls that you have after doing this, I'm surprised at this. Although, it may be, again, against the ace point is long-term safety. And here, we have the makings of the pyramid.
Gary, maybe if you take the guy off the ball, it's more clear.
Put him there.
Yeah. Maybe that would make it more clear. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably why. Here is a much bigger difference, because again, you have to come in, and then roll a number that hits. Still, it's a little bit surprising that it's that close. When you count all the numbers that hit, that leave a shot up to by not clearing the bar point. In any case, Michi does not go into that very much. Now Michi has a section on bearing in against no contact. And the basic idea here is, and this was another case where he provides the idea, and I've heard this before and I try to follow it, but if you look at examples, it's almost hardly an error to violate his prescription. So when bearing in, here's the idea here's the ideal. And it's basically you want to stack your checkers on the 6, 5, and 4 point. And don't worry, and you don't want to go deep. So that's the basic idea. But again, as with some of this other positions, when we look at this, this situation, if you want to stack, you're going to take the 3 and go to 5 or the 7 and 4. But when you look at what XG has to say, it doesn't really matter. Look at their top play is this play, which I would never make. But it's just as good as any other play. So I would still go with stack the 6, 5, and 4, but be aware that you're not going to see those errors show up in a situation like this where you're bearing in. Not sure why that is. Now, some other topics that Michi covers here are the idea of crossovers. And here we're trying to scatter, we're trying to scramble around to get our checkers, and we're already pretty well stacked up on the 6, 5, and 4. And I go by the rule of if you got 2 dice, you want to make 2 crossovers. And so the way that you do that here is 18 to 12 and 7 to 3. 7 to 4, I mean. Now, it turns out that this doesn't matter that much in this situation.
Yeah.
And really, as long as you move the 8, move from the 18, you're fine. If you did something stupid like 7 to 1, that would be not work. It does make a more, and this is something Michi doesn't cover, but it makes a bigger difference if you're trying to avoid the gammon. So, if you're in this situation where black is going to get off in 2 rolls. Oops, I'm going to change the cube. You really have to get the crossovers here. Again, Michi doesn't cover this, but you've got to get you got to get in a position where your next roll you can get off. And if you don't get in and the only way to do that is this one. Now, when I say get off, means you can get off without rolling the big double. Here you can get off if you roll, but you have to roll doubles, and they have to be 2s or better. Here you just need to roll a 6, and so there are 11 rolls with 6s, and here 2s or better. There are 5 rolls with 2 and better. So you've doubled your chances of winning or of getting off the gammon by doing this play. Let's look at another example. Oh, this is okay. That was just the same one that I just showed you. So here's another one, and this is, somewhat counterintuitive. Not necessarily counterintuitive, but here you got 3 checkers and you rolled a 5, 4. You'd really like to bring the back one up closer, but what if you do that? You can only bring 1 in, so you're left with 2, and then in order to get out next time, you've got to roll doubles. So what you have to do here is to move these 2, bring the 2 checkers in. You need the 2 crossovers here, and then if you get a 6, you can avoid the gammon. And again, assuming black doesn't roll doubles. So again, that Michi, I'm surprised Michi didn't cover that one. It's kind of important. And then the last one I have to go over, this is one he also Michi doesn't cover, but I came across this in a game, and I've seen situations like this before, where I was not thinking very clearly about it, but and made a big blunder, which actually cost me a gammon. So what's the right play here, and what's the issue?
Well, if you
How
make
to
it like a
slot
quiz,
on the board.
if you make it like a quiz, I'm gonna figure it's 8, 6, 3, 2, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't really know how to explain it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I mean, the obvious thing that I did was, and I wasn't thinking about it, it was, obviously you're going to bring 8 to 6 because that gives you 1 crossover, and now you can get off on the next roll. So looking at this now the question is, there it is. Okay, what do you do with the ace? And the answer is, we'll show you the answer. Because this actually does matter, and it matters a lot.
Otherwise, any 2 misses apart from double two, or even double two.
So, where's 10, 8, 8, 6? Yeah, so, yeah, this is the careless play, 10, 8, 8, 6. I don't think anyone would do 8, 5. Obviously you bring this one in and then, 10, 8, 8, 6. Oh, this is the right play. Yeah. Okay, so this is, these are the plays of questions. Do you do this? Do you slot the 2? Or do you bring the back checker closer? Okay. And it makes a big difference here. And the only way that I can tell to analyze this is to basically go through all the rolls, which is annoying.
But what you can quickly see, Gary, is that with the wrong play, any 2 except double 2 will miss.
That's right. Yeah, and yeah,
I think you still got to
which,
slog out the count.
that's exactly how. And, to make it easier, yeah. If you, I had a chart with which lays out all the, maybe I'll pull it out here. I forget where I put it. Odds chart. Yeah.
No, 10 to 9. You already get all the 3s. So moving 10 to 9.
Yeah.
Doesn't get you an extra combination that works.
Yeah. Well, as Ray pointed out, if you move 10 to 9, any roll of 1 and 2 other than double 2s, you lose, or you don't bear off next time. And so that's, any number with 1 or 2 is 20 combinations. So it's really 19 rolls you miss. If you do this, okay, so any 1 you will miss. So there are 11 automatically you miss, even double 1s. And there are going to be rolls where you have to roll at least 4.
3, 2.
So you've got 3, 2, 3, 1, 2,
You've
1.
counted ones already.
I'm sorry.
You've already said any 1 misses.
That's right. I've already said all the 1s. So so it's the
So
additional.
is it just
So
3,
you have
2?
11
Yeah.
1s, and you've got 3, 2, and
That's it.
I guess that's it, right?
Yeah.
So that's 11 plus those 2 rolls. That's 13. 13 compared to 19.
I think that's right.
Yeah. So there are a couple ways to do that. I did this when I was starting out. I would have this chart, which you can visualize if you practice it. And so if you know that all the 1s and 2s are bad, you can go and like highlight them. And these are bad. That one is okay. And then you get a sense of that. Whereas, and then compare it to the other roll where it's just the 1s. The 1s are bad. Oops, that didn't work. And then the 3s, the 3s are bad, other than double 3s. So these 2 are bad. Oops. And then and then counting them, but
Is that shown on like the dice distribution chart?
Probably, I guess, but if you're trying to visualize this, as you're practicing the number, I only use this when things aren't complex, or things are too complex that I can't visualize, or that I can't deal. you know, the way that I would deal with this problem, if I thought I should have dealt with it, was the kind of the very way suggested was, you know, if you have any two holes like this, there are 20 numbers that cover it. So, you know, this one, there's 11 rows with a 1 in it. With a 1 or 2, there are 20 rows. Okay, and you can go back to a chart like this, you know, to show that. Take these off. You know, 11, there's 6 in this, and then 5 over here. So that's 11. And if you go here, ignoring the double 2s, you know, you've got 2 rows of 6 is 12, and then 2 rows of 8, which is 20, just to verify those combinations. So again, the right way to look at this is that you got 2 combinations here. So that's 20 numbers. However, double 2s would work. So -1, so that's 19. Whereas here, you can say, we know the ones are losers, so that's 11. And it's only then the ones, the other rolls are the only ones that don't get this one in. So it's not 4 or better. So it's, you know, which only leaves 3-2, because 3-3 will work as a double, and double 2s would work. So anyway, you know, this Michi doesn't cover this. And you know, to me, these, as you see, these are much bigger errors, and they come up frequently. I mean, and the bigger errors because they're very important. If you misplay this and get it, your opponent doesn't, you know, you get the wrong number, you know, you're giving up twice the points. So this is a huge error. Whereas, you know, a lot of the bearing in stuff, it's only bad because, you know, really bad things could happen. You could roll the double 6s and get hit and so forth. So this is kind of bonus material. Michi doesn't cover it. You know, he probably should have. Okay, so that's all I have for this chapter. We're now done with chapter 6, and there are only 4 more chapters, but they're kind of long, so we still have a ways to go here with this book. All right, let me stop the recording, and we can go on